Am I audible to you now? Okay. So did you understand what we did in the previous example? We declared a class and we are supposed to accept the data in a default constructor, and in the parameterized constructor we are supposed to pass the value. Then we are supposed to make a call to the display area to display the contents of that particular area for the two particular objects. Now let's understand something called as a method overloading. Okay, with the various set of the examples, I'll quickly go through this. In this case, I have got two functions add. Okay, one is taking two parameter, another one is taking three parameters. So in this case, what is going to happen is it is going to make a call to adders add method, and there are two integers over here, integer and integer. So it is going to return the value of a plus b. In the next case, I am passing three integers. So here there are three integers. So this particular function will be called, which is going to return these three integers. So what we are discussing, we are continuing our discussion on the method overloading. So in this case, what I have done, I have written the add method, to add method in the adder class, and I am making a call to it directly by saying adder dot add. Two integers, in this case three integers, but both the function are having the same name. In the next case, there are three functions. Okay, one is taking two integer, second one is taking three integer, third one is taking three longs. There are three functions having the same name. The first one is taking two integers, the second one is taking three integers, and the third one is taking three longs. If you look at the parameter, two integers, three integers, and three longs. How do I identify the long variable, long data type? By typing a L after the value. If you type a L after the value, what will happen? It will be treated as a long. It will be treated as a long. Okay, so this particular line adder dot add is making a call to this particular add function with the two values 11 and 11. So 11 and 11, it is going to return this. In this case, I'm making a call to this add method of the adder class with three integers 11, 11, 11. In the last case, what I'm doing, I'm passing 11L, 11L and 11L. What does L indicates? It indicates the long value. So it will come to this particular function and return the sum of it, and will return the sum of it. So three function having the same name taking different number of arguments. So in the first case, what should happen? 22. In the next case, 33. In the next case, again 33. But you should know which function is called. If I comment this out, and try to run it, what will happen is it will give me an error. Why it gives me an error? For a very simple reason. You're trying to pass three long and we don't have a function with three long. So can the long be converted to integer? No. Why? Because there is a loss of data. There is a loss of data. Yes or no? So that's why your error message says that there is a possibly lossy conversion from long to integer. From long to integer. We know that long takes 8 bytes and integer takes 4 bytes. So there is a possibility that you may lose the value from long to integer. So it is giving me an error. It doesn't allow that. It doesn't allow. So L in this case is indicating that it is a long data. It's a long data. Is it clear? In this case, you don't have to enter something called as a int over here, because by default they will be treated as a int. But if you want this 11 to be treated as a long, then you have to suffix it with L. You have to suffix it with L. And since there is a no long function over here, it cannot make a call to integer. Why? Because long cannot be converted to integer, because there is a possibility of the loss of data for the large numbers. Hence, it gives me a compile time error. If I remove the comment, then what will happen? It will give me 33. If you want to make a data type for the short, make a short over here. Make a short over here. Try it by saying short integer. Is it clear? Now, there is a class header. There is a class header with the add function taking two longs. Okay, for the two longs. There is a static long add with three longs. Now look over here. I haven't written the code for integer. I haven't written the code for integer. So what will happen? Integer will get converted to long. Now this will work for a very simple reason. Integer can be converted to long. Integer can be converted to long. Understood? I am saying don't type short integer. In the function you write short integer. So depending upon the value, it will make a call to the short integer money. In case of this, we don't have two integers. Okay, so what will happen? It will make a call to this and there is no loss of data. So it won't give me an error. In this case, it is straightforward. You are making a call to the two long. So it should directly make a call to this without any error. In this case, we are passing three integers. Do we have a function for three integers? No. Do we have a function for three longs? Yes. So it should make a call to this. In this case, we are passing three longs. Do we have the function for three longs? Yes. So it shouldn't give any error if you run this particular code. Is it clear to you? So when there is no loss of data, it will work peacefully. Otherwise, it won't work. Otherwise, it won't work. To illustrate this concept, let's make life a little bit complicated. Let's take this example. There is a class main. In the main, I'm saying adder.add 11, 11L. Okay. Now pay attention very carefully. There is a int, there is a long. There is a int, there is a long. So this shouldn't give me any error. In the next case, we have. In the next case, we have. Okay. You're passing an integer and a long. Integer and a long. No problem. You're passing a long and an integer. You're passing a long and an integer. Do we have it? No, there is a loss of data over here. Okay. Then I will go over here. There are three parameters. So this will be ignored. This will be ignored because there are three. This will be ignored because there is a loss of data. You are sending a long, but there is an integer. Now let's go to the third. There is a long over here. So this will not take place. This will not take place because there are three parameters. But will this be in a position to handle it? Yes, because long could be very well stored in a double. Long could be very well stored in a double. So when I run this shouldn't give an error. There are three integers. This will not be executed. Will this be executed? Three integers can be stored in three long. Yes, no issues. Then I have got these three integers will be perfectly fine, can be executed using this. Three longs can be executed using this. So this program shouldn't give any error. Let's check it out whether it runs or not. Does it run? Yes. The first one is 22. The next one is long and integer. I said long cannot be stored over here, so this will not be executed. This is three parameter, this will be ignored. But this was taken. Long could be for this particular invocation. Okay, for this particular invocation, this one long could be very well stored in a double. So this was called. 11 could be very well stored in a double. So it return A plus B. So you got the answer as 22.0. indicating that this particular function was called. If you want to be very sure, then what you can do, you can say SOP over here, system.out.println, add function called with one int and one long. SOP add function called with long, long, long. SOP long add function called with double and double. Is it clear to you? Yes, no? You have to just keep on playing with it so that you'll get the concept. Wherever there is a loss of data, it won't do it. It won't do it. You want to check it? I'll tell you. You make this as float. You make this as float. Okay. And float. Now let's check whether double can be stored in a float. Let's check whether double can be stored. Sorry, long can be stored in a float. Let's run this again. So in this case, what is happening? This particular number L was stored in a float, so it was in a position to do it. It was in a position to do it. Now have a look at this particular call. Be very careful, okay? Let's call this paste it, and let's say 11.2 and 11.4. Okay. No suitable method found for add double comma double. What happened? 11.2 was not taken as a float value, it was taken as a double. It was taken as a double. Do we have any double version of it? No, we do not have it. We have only float. So it will give me an error. If you want to pass a float value, then what you should do? You should write a suffix called as F. F indicates float. F indicates float. Now it will work. Is it clear to you? There is a class main, the info function returning an integer. There is a class main, sorry, there is another function called as info, which is not returning any value. Okay, I am saying main m is equal to new main int a is equal to m dot info. So what should be the output in this case? Let me just conserve some space so that you could see the code. Is a class main, there are two info function, one is returning integer, another one is not returning anything. When I say int m is equal to new main, int a is equal to m dot info, what should be the output or what should be stored in a? Any answers? There are two info function. One is displaying plain, returning 0. Another one is airport, not returning anything. Int a is equal to m dot info. What should be the answer? It will give me an error. It will give me an error. What was stored? What was taught to you? Two or more function having the same name, taking different number or different types of argument is called method overloading. Now there is a, if you look over here, the arguments are same. The first one is not taking anything, the second one is also not taking anything. So it will give me an error. It will give me an error because two functions are identical. This doesn't come into the picture. The return type will not come into the picture. For method overloading, it is purely based on the parameters being passed to it. So method overloading is two or more function having the same name, taking different number or different types of argument. Arguments are same. No argument over here, no argument. This doesn't come into the picture. Hence, when you try to compile and run the code, what will happen? It will give me an error. Is it clear to you? It says info is already defined. Info is already defined. Concept clear? Since the functions are identical, it is saying that info is already declared. This is not a method overloading. Two functions having the same name, only differing in the return type is a compile time error. It is not function overloading. Second concept, very important again. There is a class main having a function. There is another function. Okay, I am saying main obj is equal to new main sop obj dot function. Which function will be called? This one or this one? So these two functions are differing only in static. Only in static. Okay, so this will again give me a compile time error. Two or more functions should differ in terms of the parameters or data type, which is not happening. The return type doesn't come into the picture. So this has got no significance, whether you write static, whether you write string, whether you write integer. This becomes identical. This is the pattern into consideration. Hence, when I make a call to this, it will give me compile time error. It will give me compile time error. Is it clear? Again, it will say that function is already defined in the class main. Function is already defined in the class main. Is it clear? Understood? This is a function, this is the function. They are not differing with the, they are not differing in the parameters they are taking. Hence, it will give me an error straight. What you type before this is not a part of the function overloading. These two functions become identical, hence it gives me an error. That's it. Whether you write static, whether you write a string, whatever you write over here doesn't come into the picture. Return type is not a part of function overloading. Since this became identical, it complained saying that two functions are identical. Is a class main with roll number, name, and a static data member which says the university name. There is a parameterized constructor which takes R and N. There is a roll number, there is a name, there is a display function which displays the roll number, name, and the college. Okay, again, there is a class main which has got two data members, roll number and name. There is a static data member which is initialized to college name. There is a constructor which takes two parameter R and N assigned to roll number and name. There is a display function which displays roll number, name, and college. There is a main in which we are creating two objects S1, S2 with one ABC, two XYZ. When I say S1 dot display and S2 dot display, what it should do, it should display roll number, name, and college. Okay, so let's run this. So when I run this, what will happen? Straightforward, you will get 1 ABC Chitkara, 2 XYZ Chitkara. So what is the advantage of making a static? Now we know that each and every object has a separate copy of the roll number and name. Yes or no? This is a separate copy for S1. This is a separate copy for S2. Now this is something which is shared by all the students. Okay, so if I remove a static over here, if I remove a static, then what will happen? Each and every object will have one copy of this particular college. Okay, one copy of it. That means that much space will be occupied for each and every object. Assume that I have created such 500 objects. So each object is going to have a separate copy of it. Separate copy of it. Instead of that, I just wanted to have one copy. Okay, so what I did, I made it as a static. I made it as a static. Now there will be only one copy of it. There will be only one copy of it which will be shared. So when I say run over here, what will happen? Both the particular objects will be sharing one copy of it. That one copy is a static data members, which is the name of the college. Are you with me? When you want something which has to be shared by all the students, we make it as a static, such as university name, such as university address, which is going to be shared by all the students. Make it static. No need to have a separate copy for each and every student. But roll number, name, the marks, the fees paid, the CGPA, or everything should be non-static because they are associated with each and every entity. They are associated with each and every entity. Is it clear? So can a constructor change the value of the college? Let's see. So what I'm doing over here, I'm saying college is equal to Chitkara University HP campus. Okay. So if I did this in the constructor, now let's see when I run the display, whether it display the original one, which is Chitkara, or the college name, which is changed to CUHP. Let's check it. It is changed. Originally, what was the name? It was Chitkara. Then in the constructor, what I did, I changed this to the CUHP. So what should happen after this? I'm making a call to display. So what should display do? Display should display the contents of that particular change data, which is CUHP. Which is CUHP. Are you with me? Okay. So that is the end of the session. Yesterday's object-oriented notes along with today's uploaded in the on the drive along with the videos. Okay, so you can refer to those particular notes. You can refer to this particular notes. By evening, it should be ready and loaded on the drive. Clear? That will be the end of the session. Thank you very much. You all can leave.